I'm so nervous for some reason.
Welcome back to the King's Corner, the place for all things Bethesda. I am the KingFanMan, and this is the KingCast, the live podcast on all things Bethesda, where we cover, of course, all the news, all the current news, and your questions and comments. And today, I'm so excited. This is so cool that I get to do this, and I get to do it with my great friend, Joey Caps Gaming. Joey Caps, how you doing, brother?
I am wonderful. Thank you for inviting me on, King. I had to say yes. It's a Friday night. I'm ready to go.
Yes.
I'm excited to talk some Bethesda. Haven't done that in a long time, but listen, I'm excited just to be on here, and thank you, King. I really appreciate the invite.
Normally we do the King's Cast on a Saturday, and you can't do it because normally you're busy on Saturday. So this is awesome being able to get you here on a Friday. King Cast one day early. Let's go. I can't wait. And thank you, everybody, for spending a little bit of your Friday afternoon and evening with me and Joey Caps. We've got a lot of news to cover, and we're going to talk Starfield. Most of this show is going to be about Starfield, but again, get your questions and comments ready because I do have some news to cover as well. This coming week, as most of y'all know, Fallout 76 is getting a brand new update. Season 10 is coming, and The Pit, Tuesday, September the 13th, we are getting 2 brand new missions with The Pit. One is Union Dues, the other is From Ashes to Fire. And of course, a lot of new content coming with The Pit. We're not going to talk much about it because we've talked a lot about it in the past, but just real quick, Joe, are you looking forward to The Pit? Are you excited about it at all?
Well, whenever there's new content for Fallout, of course, I'm excited, King. What kind of question is that?
That's right.
Of course, I'm so excited, especially The Pit. I can't wait to visit there, and so I didn't play the PTS. I don't know if you did.
I
did it.
I have, yeah.
I did not. So I'm going in with
right.
with virgin eyes, if you will.
So it's brand new content to you.
Brand new for me, so I'm really excited. How is it, by the way? I haven't been in the loop at all.
You know, it's I'm right on the line with it. It's I like it. I do like it. It's kind of daily ops-y, but it's not timed at all. So it's nice. I mean, you know, there's it's the reason I say it's kind of like daily ops is it's missions. It's not a story, but yet you do get to meet new characters, and there is lore, and there's not a time. So with that part of it, I like. So you know, you get 2 brand new factions, all brand new rewards. So there's a lot of it I'm looking forward to.
Sweet, that's awesome. Yeah, you know, I mean, you really didn't sell it that well.
I know.
But I'm excited. I'm excited. Listen, I'm also excited for the scoreboard. I am. I'm sorry if that's not a popular opinion. But
Let me say hi to some folks on that one.
sure. Yeah.
Hey, DeMarco Dude. Hey, Cirque. There's my wife, the beautiful Mississippi Queen. Dane, James, Nuka Jones. Hey, Nuka Jones. Renrut, Jonas, Fernando. Good to see all y'all here. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all again for spending a little bit of your Friday afternoon with me and Joey Caps Gaming. I almost said DeMarco Dude. I'm so sorry, Joey, that I almost called you DeMarco Dude.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nah, he's a good guy.
He is a great guy.
He's good people.
He is good people. DeMarco Dude says it needs a new big expansion soon, and I agree. The only reason I didn't sell it is because I want story content. I understand why they're not doing story content. We talked about this in the last KingCast. They need repeatable content in this live service game. What happened was, and if y'all missed the last show, I'll give y'all the quick version, okay? In the last story content that they gave us, which would be the Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah.
What Bethesda did, they watched the new players when the new content came out a bunch of new players. They watched the numbers of players that came onto the game. And a bunch of new players came onto the game, but they didn't stay very long because they played it and left. Because it didn't take that long to play. So Bethesda thought, this ain't going to work. We're not... Because remember, this content is free. This is what I told y'all last time. So for a live service game to make it, they need players to come and stay. So they're trying to look for something that hits that sweet spot of content that people like, but that will make them stay for longer periods of time. That's what they're trying for with the Expedition. So we'll see if it works.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Makes sense, but of course we want new content.
We do.
But like you said, they want people to stay, and I'll defend them on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do have some things that are not just events that are coming in the future, and and I'm excited to get back into Pittsburgh. I loved the Pit Fallout 3 DLC. So, and there are some cool things. The Trogs, I love the Trogs. I love the fact that they've got some new Trogs that are some that are ranged attacks. They spit acid at you. Some that are the super Trogs. That's not what they're called, but they're actually bigger boss type Trogs. Wow. So anyway, this show's not about Fallout 76. We're going to get to some other stuff, but let me get to some other news. Did you know, this is like big news this past week, one of the Bethesda, a former developer at Arcane Studio, came out and said that Bethesda had pressured Arcane. Where is the Arcane realm when you need them? They had pressured Arcane into naming the game Prey. That's not what they wanted to name the game. Now, if you'll remember, why is this important? Because if you'll remember, there was a 2006 game named Prey that was released by Human Head Studios. Now, the Arcane game Prey had nothing to do with that game. It was not a sequel to the game. It had nothing to do with it. So a lot of people were confused when Bethesda's game, when Arcane's game Prey came out. They were thinking, okay, this is part 2 or a reboot or something, but it had nothing to do with it. And the director of Arcane said that he believed that this was some of the reason why the game Prey didn't do very well. And in fact, this was also the reason that he actually left Arcane Studio shortly after that, because Bethesda had pressured them to do so, and started his own studio. So very interesting that this is coming out now, that they were under that kind of pressure for, I guess, marketing. I guess that's why Bethesda wanted them to make it.
It had to be marketing. But it was a good game.
But it backfired. Well, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
it was a good game.
And the reason I bring it up, the people here know how much I love Prey, and I just thought that was a very interesting story about Prey. But anyway, another quick story, Skyrim Anniversary Edition, the one with the fishing and all the Creation Club Edition. That is probably coming to the Switch this fall. And there's some technical reasons why it has been registered. Oh, there's my wife calling. She always loves to call right in the middle of the podcast.
I could not let you and Joey have all the fun.
You couldn't let us have all the fun? Hi, Miss Queen.
I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be there.
Tell everybody hi.
Hi, everybody.
How are you doing, darling?
I'm good. Hey, guess what?
What?
We just secured our spot on the cruise.
We're going on a cruise?
We're going on a cruise, baby.
Oh, boy. Where are we going?
I don't know. On the water?
My wife loves the ocean, so that's what she likes doing all the time. And I think she's won this at work. Did you win this at work?
Yeah, like it's a cruise and it's free and it's like 7 days or something. So,
Well, Congratulations.
Cool.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
Hey, you didn't tell Joey hi.
Hi, Joey.
I can't hear it.
Oh,
I
you can't hear?
him. Oh,
No, I can't hear. But tell her I said hello.
It's good to see you guys. Y'all enjoy. Have a great great show. I know you'll both do amazing.
And send her my love. That's all I
Okay,
can say.
bye, baby.
Love you guys.
Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, Skyrim Anniversary Edition's coming to the Switch this fall. Not confirmed, but it looks like it's coming. One other quick news, and then we're going to get to Starfield, Joe. Anything you want to say about Switch or Prey? I'm going through these quick.
It's actually kind of funny that the Anniversary Edition is coming out for Skyrim on the Switch. Technically, another iteration of the game.
Yeah, another Skyrim coming to you.
That's hysterical. But why not? Why not at this point?
Yeah.
But I guess that's fine. Whatever.
I found this story very, very interesting. Did you know, Joe, and I know you do because I told you right before we came on the podcast today, Sony, that means PlayStation, Sony PlayStation, they were in serious talks with Bethesda for the rights to Starfield before the acquisition that of Bethesda for Microsoft. And in other words, before Microsoft bought Bethesda. So at the same time that Microsoft was negotiating with Bethesda to purchase Bethesda, Bethesda was negotiating with PlayStation for it to be a timed exclusive. Now, if you'll remember back, Ghostwire Tokyo came out as a timed exclusive. What was the other one? Deathloop came out as a timed exclusive. Yep. And from what I'm hearing, everything had been agreed on except for a price. And it sounds like it was almost a bargaining chip. In other words, Bethesda was basically saying, look, we're about to get bought by Microsoft. Everything we're going to have in the future is going to be exclusive. So you've got a chance for our next huge game to be PlayStation if you'll give enough bucks. Wow. That's big
incredible.
News. That is incredible news. Right
That's
there.
incredible. Yeah. And but was Microsoft, were they going to Sony or did Sony approach Bethesda?
No, Microsoft had no idea of
No,
this.
I mean no, but did Sony approach like the good folks at Bethesda?
Well,
or
I don't know who started it because that would be interesting because Bethesda had already done business with the Ghostwire Tokyo and the Deathloop. So it's whoever started the negotiations with that, but they were already in partnership with those two. So it was just that continuation of partnership. So from what it sounds like with the actual Starfield one though, Bethesda reached out to Sony and said, hey, before we get bought, you might want to give some money here.
Interesting.
Yeah, they were trying to get the most bang for their buck.
Okay. Because I was going to bury Sony here. I really was. I was going to bury them. But if it wasn't them, But I mean, hey.
It kind of sounds like Bethesda was playing both sides, but hey.
Flirting with one and also the other.
Yeah. So you can get more money from. Let's see. Jeremy says if they want people to stay, they need to release repeatable content more than quarterly, or you have the same problem. Come back to do content and leave. I agree. Yes, they're going to have to put out more content. I don't think there's any doubt about that. We're going back to Fallout 76, but there is no doubt about that. We have had a lack of Fallout 76 content, no doubt.
It's going to be 4 years in November since the game released.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, we've had really a year drought that I would say a full year, and you can blame COVID if you want to, and I'm sure that was some of the reason.
I think so though.
But it really went through a content drought. It really did. It dropped off, and live stream games just can't do that. It really got bad. Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Absolutely. Do you know when the title was going to? Do we know what the title was going to be originally? Talking about the Prey title, I will look into that. Joey was asking me that same thing. They had several names that they wanted to name Prey, but the director of the studio said that naming it Prey was gross. That was his words. It's funny. And DeMarco Dude says, yes, he is good people, by the way. I do have one thing, and me and Joe was talking about this before. This is something that is coming up in the news right now. And then I promise we're going to jump on Starfield because we've got a lot of Starfield news and some stuff we want to talk about. There's actually been a little bit of leaks, and then some news comes out on Starfield. Joe, you've heard the stuff about Call of Duty and Microsoft and PlayStation and all that going on. They're talking about not letting Call of Duty be a total exclusive to Microsoft, and you were giving me some information on that. First, I'm gonna turn it over to you. Do you believe, first off, that Sony will be successful in maintaining some of the rights, or I don't know how to word it, keeping it from being a total exclusive?
So, Call of Duty just makes a boatload of money, right? It's one of the most popular game franchises, whether we like it or not. So, of course, Sony is gonna want that on their own console, but that's just not how things work. So Microsoft, I feel like Microsoft, they is gonna try to make them come to some sort of an agreement, and I've seen this floated around. It's not an original idea, but I've seen people say, "Hey, Microsoft might hold this over Sony's head and say, hey, if you want Call of Duty on your console, let's just put Game Pass on your console." And I don't know if Sony will go for that, but it's giving them an option. So, and I think that would be a great opportunity to potentially put Game Pass on the PlayStation.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Now, that's just what I think, because I don't think Microsoft, I don't think Xbox is going to be like complete jerks about it, if the sale does go through. But I feel that they could use this to their advantage to potentially put Game Pass on PlayStation. That's just what I think.
See, to me, it sounded like, and I know we don't know all the behind-the-scenes stuff, it sounds to me like Microsoft is almost caving on the Call of Duty thing, not really pushing it to be an exclusive. They're really talking about it being a shared title. But my point is this: if Sony is successful in getting Microsoft to back off the exclusivity of Call of Duty, many people believe that they might do the same thing. They might push or even sue to get Starfield not an exclusive, because this is the reason. The reason they're talking about Call of Duty not being an exclusive is because it is such a mainstream game played by so many. Well, the argument then is that Bethesda games are so mainstream and beloved and played by millions of people. I mean, you look at the Fallout series, the Elder Scrolls series, and that could be an argument that Sony could use against Microsoft trying to get that exclusivity taken away.
See, the thing is, King, the thing is with that though, Microsoft already owns Bethesda, so like it's theirs, right? Mm-hmm. It's almost like me trying to sue you because I want your shirt. No, I own this shirt now. You might have owned the fabric, like you might have had access to this said fabric before, but no, now I own the freaking shirt. It's my shirt. You can't have it. So, yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. But what I do think right now is, like, because I don't know the process, but I know this has to go through like the ringer, if you will, before the sale becomes official with Activision and all that fun stuff. So, I mean, I could see Microsoft cutting some sort of deal. Listen, PlayStation has a lot of has a good amount of popular exclusives. The Last of Us, God of War. They're not putting that on the Xbox. They're not. So why the heck do we? I mean, I don't know. I just, but at the same time, the sale hasn't gone through yet, so there is room to negotiate there and to try to get Call of Duty to stay on PlayStation. Listen, Microsoft, Call of Duty Warzone is just it's a freaking gold mine.
I agree I agree that would make it so much harder for Starfield since they would be retroactively trying to do it. But if they get it for Call of Duty, it does open up the possibility for at least, if not Starfield, then possibly Elder Scrolls. Especially since Elder Scrolls is an established game and Starfield isn't.
Yeah, like I said, I'll still stand firm by this. But Bethesda, the Xbox already owns Bethesda. Like they already own it. So but they don't own Call of Duty yet. So there's still opportunity there to keep it on PlayStation. Now, if Microsoft, like, let's say the deal goes through and every new iteration of Call of Duty, not counting remasters, has to go on PlayStation, like, that's fine. But remasters will be exclusive to Xbox.
Right.
And because people really want a Black Ops 2 remastered. I've been seeing a lot of that. So if they're going to make that, that might be an exclusive. If the new releases are not, the new iterations of the franchise aren't.
Right.
So, but that's just me just throwing things out there.
Psycho says, "I hope Starfield plays on Steam Deck." That's a good thought. And by the way, everybody look at Psycho and look at that beautiful blue crown he has by his name. If you want one of those beautiful blue crowns, you can have one. Just join the channel. It'll help me out, and you'll get one of those beautiful blue crowns. And there's some other neat things that will come later on, by the way, if you have it. But you can become a member of the King's Crew, and thank you for being that, Psycho. And James with the super chat. Thank you, James. He says, here's a little something for the cruise. My wife won a cruise in a chef cooking contest. It was amazing, like a second honeymoon. Have fun, you two. Oh, awesome. Jonas says we'll share Call of Duty with Sony, but through Game Pass. That would be a power play. Absolutely. Shogun says, I only played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I think they got ridiculous after that. I haven't played many of them, but I played a few. DeMarco Dude says, why shouldn't Call of Duty be exclusive? PlayStation has thrived. This is what we were talking about before the show. Yeah. PlayStation has thrived on that business model. Now they are upset that Microsoft is doing the same. It's all petty to me, but I get it. I wondered why Microsoft was even discussing it with them. I would just kind of go, ha, you know. Yeah. But there is. I think Microsoft may be afraid of if they buy Activision, somebody coming and trying to break up Microsoft later on, saying it's getting too big, something like that. Maybe that's what they're thinking down the road. Maybe that's why they're wanting to work with Sony, because there are laws out there about I forget the actual code itself, but Joe, do you know what I'm talking about? The non oh goodness.
No idea.
No idea.
But I will say this though.
Yeah.
Before I lose it,
I
will say. I will say this. When where am I hearing this from? Because I'm not just creating it. I've heard that if Microsoft is able to purchase Call of Duty,
yes, that
they are interested in. I don't know how the heck that it would be possible, but they're interested in putting it on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh wow!
Of bringing back the Call of Duty franchise to Nintendo. So I don't know if that would happen. I just heard that.
Interesting.
From someone. Yeah. So my thing is, Microsoft appears that they don't want to steal everybody's favorite game. Not everybody's, but it's a very popular franchise, Call of Duty, from them, and they want them to have options on what platform to play on. But when it comes down to it, if Call of Duty is exclusive which they have every right to if that deal goes through.
See, I agree. I'm with you. I'm with what DeMarco dude's saying.
Yeah.
Look at what Sony has done for years. They have dominated Microsoft. I don't understand it, but anyway.
And now everybody is
now
pooping on
Sony
Microsoft.
wants to cry about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeremy says maybe Game Pass and crossplay. Amen. I don't know, especially with 76. Why doesn't Microsoft open up crossplay at least with computers and the Xbox? I know that's a different story, but I wish we would get more crossplay. That would be great. Jonas says Elder Scrolls was exclusive to Xbox when they first started. You're absolutely correct. I forgot about that. You're absolutely correct. They were it first came out on the Xbox console. Released a console back in the day. Morrowind was only on PC and Xbox. You're absolutely right. DeMarco Dude says not sure if Nintendo wants Call of Duty. That's not very family friendly like most of their titles. The Switch has they've got Wolfenstein. Come on, DeMarco Dude, they've got a lot. They've really branched out on the Switch. Jeremy says Monopoly. There you go. There was the word I was trying to come up with a minute ago in my mind. Monopoly doesn't apply because PlayStation and Nintendo. Vault-Tec Spy King, long time no see. Love the Twitter pic of you and the Queen. Thank you. If Microsoft games go on PC, anyway, so it's all the same to me. And Granola Nova, I like that name. 70 billion. Sony has never spent that amount of money to make a product exclusive. This is true as well. Absolutely. All right, let's jump on to Starfield. We've got so much to talk about Starfield. A couple of weeks ago, boy, this is going to be fun. By the way, the last part of the show, me and Joe are going to be going over 10 major concerns that Gaming Bolt has with Starfield. And you can see that video. It came out today, by the way. I don't recommend that video, but you can watch it if you want to. Also, it wasn't long ago that Mr. Maddie put out a video that was pretty negative on Starfield as well. So this is going to kind of combat those two, if you will. But we're going to be looking at the 10 major concerns about Starfield in just a moment. But I do want to cover this real quick. In the last couple of weeks, pronounce his name, the composer, Joey.
I don't know if I could pronounce it correctly.
Einan Zur. There you go. Einan Zur made a couple of statements that were really eye-opening about Starfield. And I just want to get your opinion on them, Joe. The first one was, of course, that this game is going to be twice as big as any other Bethesda game. I'm going to save that one because we're going to talk about that one in a minute because, believe it or not, that's one of the major concerns that Gaming Bolt has about this game. They're not excited about it. They're concerned about it. But here are some of the other comments, and they are wild, okay? It is a deep game, he says, a philosophical game. It will consume a lot of your being. I believe after Starfield, you may be a changed person. It will definitely give you another perspective, maybe a deeper perspective to your whole being. Now, Todd Howard talked about this is going to be a different kind of game, and it's going to ask some deep questions. And here is Mr. Zur talking about that this is, and evidently he's gotten to play some of the game, or at least knows some of the story. He says it is a philosophical game that affects your being. Well, all right, Joe.
I don't know.
Are we in for, what are we in for with the story of Starfield?
Well, I have mixed feelings about it. You know them, but I'm not gonna bring them onto here. I'll just give my my gaming opinion, if you will.
Yes.
It just shows that Bethesda is really, if this is all true, that they've really put in a ton of care into the story for this game. into, how deep this game could potentially be when it comes to lore and all that. So I think we should be excited, because then that means if it's going to start making us question our own, being, life, then they must have really put some thought into this. So with that being said, sure, it's fine. It's fine. But I don't know. I don't know if I would hype it up that much.
I was
though.
about to
think that's
say,
a lot for it to live
one
up
thing
to.
that Bethesda kind of gets knocked for is their writing. That's
Yeah.
not ever been one of their strengths.
Yeah.
So, for them to come out and say this, do you think they can pull it off? Can a story really do this?
Well-
I'm into games that really tug at your heart and you really get into.
Yeah. Like I don't know. See, like King, I disagree with you a little bit when you said that Bethesda's not really good for their writing. Maybe not when it comes to the quests and stuff like that. Maybe the main quest, it could be a bit deeper. Like I totally understand. But when it comes to lore, like Fallout 4 lore, 76 lore. 76 has some cool lore.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Fallout
I'm
3
talking about
lore.
the story itself, just the story of the game itself.
Yeah, but like, what I'm saying is, if it's gonna, I just feel like the lore itself is gonna be really awesome,
Okay.
and that's what I'm saying. Not really the main quest, but just everything around Starfield that you need to make it, a fun title.
And by the way, personally, that was not me saying that. I was saying Bethesda is not known for. Personally, it's like I really enjoyed the story of Fallout 4. I thought that was an excellent story with a great twist, and
Yeah, that was awesome.
I really enjoyed that. I thought that was
Me too.
really good writing.
Yeah.
Another thing that Enan says about the story, he says, it's about the story. It's about your ability to write your own story within the story. Now, that I really like. I really hope, because, Todd Howard said they've gone back to hardcore RPG. I really hope there are a lot of choices and consequences. In other words, I hope my game is totally different than your game.
Sure. I hope so too.
That's something that Obsidian did great, Bethesda not so much.
Yeah. That's what makes an RPG so good.
Yes.
That's what made New Vegas, really good.
Yeah.
It's just,
And if you're
that's
old
all.
school like me, you go back to the old school computer RPGs. That's what made them worth playing. I mean, every time you played them, it was completely different, All right, let me catch up on some of these comments, and then we're going to go into our 10
Absolutely.
these 10 concerns. Okay. Vault-Tec Spy says, I could see cross-platform with Xbox and PlayStation, but not PC. With the hackers and non-official mods, I understand that. There would definitely have to be something addressed with that. 76 can't be cross-play because console players will never be okay with the idea of having to compete with the advantages of mouse and keyboard. And the hackers of PC, again, same idea. Weird Man says Microsoft is buying already multi-platform IPs that make up at least half of the gaming community. Exclusivity will only hurt the community. Xbox needs brand new IPs that they can call their own. DeMarco Dude says, guess Emil leveled up his writing skill and got some perks in the literary skill tree. Very good,
That's
DeMarco.
good.
Jonas says Bethesda has in the past showed their potential for metaphysical stories. Older Elder Scrolls lore is filled with crazy stuff depending on what the writing team is capable of. This time, who knows? Jonas also says maybe if Michael Kirkbridge was involved to some capacity. This is kind of random, but did anyone see the movie Lightyear? I recently watched it, and it gets me hyped for Starfield. I did not see that. Also, my kids really liked it. Shogun says, talking of 76, am I getting my prizes anytime soon? You see where I still am. I'm sorry, Shogun. Still not home yet.
Yeah.
It's all my wife's fault. I will blame my wife.
You're blaming the wife.
I will blame my
No.
wife. There's Ian. Hey, King. What? The court gesture is back. And he says, hey, Joey Caps as well. Good to see you. Good to see you
Hey,
too, Ian. Okay. The 10 concerns. Again, Gaming Bolt. And by the way, if y'all do go and watch the Gaming Bolt video, please tell Gaming Bolt that you disagree and the King and Joey sent you. Please. And give them a link to this broadcast. Okay. Yeah. The number one concern that Gaming Bolt had, and again, this is also Mr. Matty Plays, and I can't believe who he. I can't remember who he had on his podcast. That was also, and I'll say this: the one that was on with Matty was much more negative than he was, but they were pretty negative about it too. Anyway, concern number one: bugs. And what I heard, Joe, from Gaming Bolt was not just bugs. They mainly talked about the graphics in what they were griping about. Let me say something about Bethesda's graphics before we talk about the bugs, because they kind of lumped both of them into the same. Yeah. There is a reason that Bethesda's games look different than other games. You could say, why doesn't Fallout 4 look as good as something else modern? Somebody say, Starfield is already 4 years behind other new games. I've said this before. There is a reason Bethesda uses the engines they use. There is nothing like a Bethesda game. Nothing. There is no other game where every object in the game you can literally move and do something with. Nothing.
Yeah.
You can't do that in the Unreal 5. That's not what the Unreal 5 engine is made for. The Unreal 5 is made for great graphics. I've seen people put up the Unreal 5 next to the Creation 2. Of course the Unreal 5 is going to look better. That's not what the Creation 2 engine is made for. Okay, Joe, start talking before I get angry. Do you see
King,
what I'm saying?
Yeah, listen. It's when Starfield hasn't even come out, and people are already just going to the bathroom on it. I'm trying to filter myself. It's not fun. I'm having fun seeing Starfield. I'm having fun watching some videos on it. DeMarco dude does awesome stuff when it comes to talking about Starfield. I like that, but I'm getting excited for the game. Don't try to rip that excitement out from under me. Please, just don't do it. Just don't do it. There's just no reason. Let's look at Starfield. Let's be excited about it. If you're telling me that, 1,000 planets, how can you fill up 1,000 planets? You're not supposed to. No Man's Sky doesn't. I have 40 hours in my most recent playthrough of No Man's Sky.
Don't get ahead of me. We're going to go there
next. Just saying.
We're going to go there next.
Go ahead.
Hey,
go on.
Hey, Shogun, message Mississippi Queen on Twitter. Give her your address, and we're going to try to get you taken care of, okay? She is my secretary, so she'll take care of you. She's my assistant. I'm sorry. She's not my secretary. She is my equal assistant and partner. How's that? Jacob says, I understand being concerned or skeptical, but the fact that anyone is negative about this game after seeing that reveal, it makes no sense to me. We're going to get to that in just a second, too. Ian is talking about Gaming Bolt. I'm going to read his in just a minute. Okay, I'm going to lay this out again about their engine. There is no other engine that can do what Bethesda's engine does. That's why when it came to Bethesda getting a new engine, you see, it was easy. All Bethesda had to do, listen, Bethesda took a lot of time in building a new engine or updating their engine. Bethesda is part of Microsoft now. Bethesda didn't have to do that. They could have just used the Unreal. They could have just used something. They could have used what id does. What's the id engine? They could have used what Arcane uses. They could have
Yeah.
used any of those engines.
Yeah.
But they didn't. Why? Because there's no other engine that does what Bethesda's engine does. Again,
Yeah.
you need an engine where every little object you can make that is static. It's not static. That makes
Yeah.
a huge difference on the graphics. It makes a huge difference also with bugs, Joe.
And
You're going
King,
to have some bugs when every little cup in the game is movable.
King, but you're forgetting one thing too, mods.
Yep.
Mod support. Like that's a huge thing too. You could make Fallout 4 on PC at least, even on Xbox, you could make it a completely different experience than from your first one.
Mm-hmm.
You could make it so different. Same with Skyrim. So I mean, if they don't have these, listen, I understand you want these, a prettier game. I get it, but sometimes it's just not the way to go. But
ANT1H3RO says the other YouTuber with Maddie was Luke Stevens. Yeah, thank you. That was it. Thank you. He said he is pretty negative, but it was a good video. Thank you. That is exactly the video I'm talking about. Thank you very, very much. Jacob says, Ian says, Gaming Golf, Zombie Crowd, I think graphics are great. Epic even too. I think this game is going to be epic, more smooth and polished too. Jacob says, tempering your hype is smart, but there's nothing wrong with being excited for a game that looks fun. DeMarco Dude says, to be fair, Starfield looks better than past BGS games, but does not look like a 2023 game. Okay, stop right there. Again, Bethesda games are going to look different. There is going to be a graphical difference. Now, you can say you're just making excuses, but again, you try to make a game where every item in the game is not static but movable. That is going to affect your graphics. That is going to affect your gameplay. It's going to affect bugs. It's going to affect those three things. You cannot say, well, this game is not up to the standards of this game, but yet it totally has different aspects to it. Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah.
You can't hold them in the same regard.
Yeah. No, I get it. I agree.
So there you go. There's a reason why Bethesda games, the graphics are a little lower. There's a reason why there's a little more bugs. There's always going to be. That is the reason why we've always given them a little pass. Now, should we give them a huge pass? No. Was the launch of 76 okay? No, there were too many bugs. Was the launch of Fallout New Vegas okay?
I know.
No.
No.
It was even worse, if y'all remember.
For some people, New Vegas is still unplayable on the PS3 to this day.
I know.
To this day.
Yep.
So come on.
King was digging himself in a hole in that secretary comment. I was. Yes. You're
What?
when I called my wife a secretary. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I've heard this one from a lot of people. We've talked about it before. Empty planets. 1,000 empty planets. Okay. This was a leak a kind of a leak that came out. Nate Perkapile, y'all know him. He left Bethesda not long ago. Started his own gaming studio. He actually had a tweet. And I don't think this is much, and he said it wasn't much of a leak because he said everybody should have known this. But he said that when he left Bethesda, he was working on Neon, the city Neon, plus other, he said, excuse me, I'm going to get the exact words, lots, L-O-T-S, of other random cities and locations. Now, what's the big deal about that? Well, we know it's been confirmed there are 4 cities in the game, 4 main cities. But Perkapile said he was working on lots of cities and locations. So we know there's going to be spread out on these 1,000 planets a lot of little cities. That's great news. So that's
cool.
Yeah, that's something we didn't know.
Listen, it's 1,000 planets. It's or more. I mean, what are we expecting?
Now,
it's gonna be good.
But Joe, this is the good news. That's all personally handmade, okay?
Yeah.
Now, there's something else that Bethesda has talked about that people haven't picked up on. Gosh, my lupus kicks in. What is the generation called? Come on, y'all. Where where they generate planets and they generate stuff.
Oh, procedural generation.
Yeah, okay. They do more than just the planets with that procedural generation. Yeah. They're also doing settlements, little cities, little encampments, and even little dungeons with procedural generation. Who was it that was talking about this? I believe it was Todd Howard. I'll find the clip for y'all. But they've got it now where on these planets they're going to be able to do procedural little random encounters, random little places where, like if it's an ice planet, this procedural city will be equipped with things that should be on an ice place. It will have winter clothes. It will have all the things that go along with an ice planet. But so it's not out of the realm of thinking then that yes, there could be places on most of these planets. Now, I know there's going to be some that are resource-heavy planets. We've already seen that. As I've told y'all before, you look in these systems, you've got the star, and then you've normally got 1 or 2 planets that are close enough for life. It is on those planets where you're going to find the cities. The others are going to be resource planets. Mm-hmm. So you're only going to have about 100 then planets that have the cities. Quit thinking about 1,000. Think of 100. My word!
Planet King!
Wow!
Yeah, that's cool.
So, is it twice as big as any other game? Yes. Is that empty? Is that an empty game by any means? No, Gaming Bolt. Stick it in your ear. Yeah. Okay, Joe, talk for a minute.
Yeah, no, listen, it's... listening, guys, if you haven't, it's just one comment led to a negative one after another. After another. And then when you get so much of it, it's like, all right, what are we doing? Do you just want to what is the word I'm looking for? Pander to the negative crowd that surrounds BGS games that just loves to hate? Is that what you're doing? Just listen, the game isn't even out yet. They've revealed some information to you. Just look forward to it. BGS, besides 76, which was an online game, every single one of their games have been very good.
Yeah.
Every single one. Single player game have been very good. Right? You could go back to Morrowind, Oblivion, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, or Skyrim. They've all been good. So, come on. Just let's get excited.
Okay, he spelled it for me. It's anti-hero. Thank you for doing that. I'm a little slow. He said, I understand the pros and cons of the creation engine. I just hope BGS improves platforming. Not being able to get over an object unless your feet can clear it when jumping is very dated. I agree with that 100%. I will tell you this. I'm just going to say one word and y'all can cheer. Ladders. There are ladders in Starfield. So, and I say that because we do have some improvement, obviously, to the creation too. So there's going to be some things, obviously, that are still dated, I believe. But again, I give BGS a little pass because of their world building, because of a lot of things. But yes, I do hope to see a lot of improvement in that area as well. Jacob says, honestly, I thought Skyrim looked phenomenal in 2011. I did too, the world itself. Same with Fallout 4 in 2015. Maybe not the prettiest ever, but the art style made up for it. I agree, 100%. Jonas was helping me there with the word. DeMarco, dude, we will see how repetitive it is. Procedural generation does one of two things. A lot of patterns are really funky combinations that don't make sense. Yeah, it's according how good, from what Todd was saying. Now, it really scares me, Joe, that they are really confident about this game in some things, but it seems like they're really confident in the way they've gotten down their procedural generation. But I will say this: I've been able to, in the past, seen patterns in Bethesda stuff. Just look back to the dungeons in Skyrim. There were major patterns in the dungeons. I mean, some of the dungeons, some of the dungeon, the cave walls were, some of the exact same.
Sure.
So, yes, we definitely hope we don't see that kind of major repetitive stuff, because if it's something you're going to spend hours and hours and hours on, like I know I'm going to, then I hope they do a much better job. I hope there are generated towns I can endlessly slaughter.
I read that comment. I was smiling. That was awesome.
That's funny. Generic NPC 632 on generic planet 964 doesn't do much for me. It's according to how they pull it off. We're going to see. Yep. Jeremy says, I like being sent to a new place I haven't seen for fetch quest, which will be in game. Jacob says, a combination of handcrafted and procedural content is a great mix. People have no reason to complain. Let's see, are we almost caught up? Hey, we are caught up. Yay. So, yeah, if we have, like I said, that around 100 planets with a mixture of the procedural to handcrafted, and you think about how long they've had to work on this, if there's some and goodness, you think about Fallout 4. Fallout 4 didn't have that many cities.
No, it didn't.
That was a disappointment for me in Fallout 4. So I'm hoping we get a lot more in Starfield as far as cities go. And with what Nate Perkapile said, it sounds like very good. That is the next thing that they said. Number 3 in their list of concerns is numbers of cities. So that's a great segue there. Again, 4 main cities that have been confirmed. So I'm really, really hoping that there are a lot of cities. If we are getting 100 planet systems, now that's correct, right? We're getting 100 star systems, 1,000 planets. That's what Todd Howard said, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Right?
So, with that, you would think if there are, now I don't believe there's going to be an Earth-like planet on every one of those, in every one of those star systems, obviously. But but I hope beyond those 4 cities, I definitely hope there's some good-sized other cities. And just for a moment before we go on, let's talk about the city we do know about. Let's talk about Atlantis for a minute. We've seen that, the size of Atlantis. What do you think about the size of Atlantis? It's obviously bigger than any city we've ever had before. What we see on the trailer, do you like the size? Does it excite you? It does me.
Listen, anything that I'm seeing,
it's much bigger than Diamond City. Come on.
Yeah. Anything that I'm seeing at Starfield, it's exciting. I get excited. And I just saw a comment, King. If you don't mind me answering it.
No, go ahead.
Shogun mentioned how he hopes it's not like No Man's Sky. He can't get past, a little bit of it before he shuts it off. Listen, No Man's Sky, I've put in like 40 hours into it recently. You have to just get past a certain point, but then it gets really fun. It gets really fun.
Yeah.
So I don't want Starfield to be like No Man's Sky.
Well, it's going to be a little bit like No Man's Sky.
But I think it's gonna, I think it's gonna feel like a space game.
Yeah.
Like a fun space game that you just could endlessly explore.
That's
fun.
Somebody on here may actually know the number. Y'all pardon me that I've already forgotten, but I was watching the video not long ago. Somebody actually counted the number of NPCs in Atlantis, and I can't remember. It's either right at 200 or right at 300 NPCs in Atlantis, which is just crazy.
Oh,
So,
insane.
so these are people that you can interact with in Atlantis, and you think about that compared with any Skyrim city or any Fallout 4 city, and that's just amazing. The difference is amazing. Plus, you have the huge skyscrapers there in Atlantis. Plus, it looks like you have at least 2 or 3 different levels of ground level buildings as well. So it's a, as far as cities that we've been able to explore before, it is a big, big city, and I can't wait to explore it.
Absolutely.
Does anybody happen to remember how many, or have heard how many NPCs are in Atlantis? Like I said, it's either right at 200 or right at 300. Jonas says, I don't think it comes down to just negativity. I think Bethesda has a lot of ambition when it comes to tech. I agree. Which can be an issue when they ask how far can we push it rather than how does this best serve the player experience. I think Bethesda is always pushing, which can be a good thing. And as you said, sometimes they can push a little too far. Let's see. Jacob says, No Man's Sky is a lot of fun once you get into it. That's exactly what Joe was saying. And, okay, we're caught up. Good deal. The next one. Now, this is a big one. Number 4 is the combat, Joe.
Yeah.
What do you think about Bethesda's combat, number 1, from the past, and then what you've seen from the trailer?
Listen, the combat of Fallout 4 is pretty bad. 3. It was bad.
3. Mm-hmm.
It was bad in 3. And New Vegas, but they added iron sights. Fallout 4 was very good.
Yeah.
It was good. You know, and so when talking about, you know, Fallout, being that they have the guns like Starfield, if it's like Fallout 4, what's there not to like? What's there not to be, you know, excited for? If the combat isn't close to that.
Gaming Bolt said it looks janky.
Yeah, I mean, listen, what are we gonna do here?
And I also Mr. Maddie.
What are we doing?
Mr. Maddie and the other guy, and I believe even Juicehead was even talking bad about the way the combat looked in the trailer. I didn't see anything bad about the way the combat looked in the trailer, but
yeah,
maybe
maybe
I'm looking at it wrong. I'm gonna put it to the comment section. Y'all tell me what y'all thought about the combat. I do hope they fix the melee combat, because melee combat with Bethesda has never been good at all. It's still not good in 76. It's basically just swing and whack. That's it.
Yeah, that's all.
But for an RPG, I don't see anything wrong with, you know, Fallout 76's combat with weapons. I don't.
No, absolutely not.
I'm guessing they want something more like Call of Duty, you know. But you're not. You can't. I don't. I'm guessing they want that with the world of BGS.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know, they want everything in one game, and I guess we all want that. But
so like in you could download mods in Fallout 4 that, you know, you could download Call of Duty guns in Fallout 4 mods, of course. But and they look really cool. They look cool. So.
Marco dude is in a negative mood. He says, I'm excited for 100 NPCs that all respond with yes, huh? Need something? In other words, that don't really talk to you. You know, that is really what got me with Cyberpunk. There was almost nobody that you could talk to. They would almost all just kind of go, huh? What? Huh?
Yeah.
I finally got somebody talk to me. You know,
Yeah.
Shogun says, I'm sorry, I'll cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go on.
Shogun says, I'm a big Fallout fan. When they showed us 76, I was dead against it. Fallout is a single player game, but I'm so glad I was proven wrong. I play it every day, so I'm actually have high hopes for Starfield. Awesome. Jacob says, from what I saw in the trailer, the combat looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, they've added sliding. I thought the slide move looks really neat. That's something brand new. So I'm anxious to see what else is new. Now, there's a couple of things. One was pointed out, when he ejects the bullet. I don't know if you've seen this. When he ejects the holes from the shotgun, they're actually rifle bullets instead of shotgun shells. So they've got some things. I mean, you have to actually stop the game. You have to stop it to see it. But there's definitely some things they've got to fix. We're going to get to it in a minute, but they also talk about. Now, this is one that does not bother me that bad. I'm going to go ahead and talk about it with you. Frame rate dropping. They talk about during the combat, the frame rate dropping. Do you have that much problem with frame rate dropping inside a Bethesda game? Now, I'm talking about single-player games, not your Fallout 76. We're talking about Fallout 4. And the only time I've had problems with gameplay is Fallout 4 in downtown Boston. That's the only time I've had any.
That's it, yeah. Downtown Boston is a killer.
Yeah.
It's a killer. But other than that, though, no.
If we're talking about minor frame rate drop, come on. But, I mean, their Gaming Bolt is actually talking about frame rate drop inside the trailer. Now, if you're actually watching for frame rate drop inside that trailer and griping about that, come on. Wow, that kind of frame rate drop, that ain't going to bother me a bit.
Yeah.
But I'm anxious to see what else they do with the combat and with the performance. I think the performance will be much better. I think now with the new what did they reveal? Engine. Gosh.
Yeah.
Lupus.
Man, I used to finish your sentences, kid. I got to do that again.
You're going to have to start with the new engine. We're just going to have to see how the performance is with it. I can't speak. All I can speak to is the trailer, and I can say the performance in the trailer was fine for me. DeMarco Dude says, what game doesn't drop frames? The only issue is it was not polished for gameplay. Well, yeah, that's another thing. If you go through that gameplay trailer and look, it was about 3 different versions of the game. They kept changing back and forth to different versions of the game, which is one reason, obviously, it wasn't polished. And if you don't know what I mean about different versions of the game is, if you're making a game, you'll have a this date version of the game and you'll make changes, and then there'll be a this date version of the game. And Bethesda had different, obviously they worked on the trailer for a while, and it wasn't just a one seamless playthrough. I heard somebody griping about the AI in it. This is just off the top of my head. We're still going in this, but I do want to see AI better in this. This is not one of Gaming Bolt's rants. This is one of my rants, Joe. I do want to see the AI better, but do you remember in the trailer when the guy comes outside of the building on the moon and he's shooting at the guys, and then there's another guy that he actually shoots in his jetpack and makes him jet off? Yeah. Do you remember that guy?
Yeah, yep.
I've heard people gripe that guy is not even paying attention, that he's been shooting all these other guys, and this guy's just walking, not even paying attention. Well, if you notice what they do, if you'll just slow down frame by frame, what they do is they actually stop and they make a cut after this gun battle with these guys. Mm-hmm. They cut to another scene with him. I think they just wanted to show off how you can shoot the jetpack is what it was. So it's not that the AI is off. They were just trying to show off that feature. So then, there again, people are griping for nothing.
Nitpicking. Just nitpicking. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Gives me a headache.
Anti-Hero says the complaint I've seen in combat is the weapons don't have much kick, but maybe that's because what was shown is early in the game with weak weapons and they can be upgraded. Yeah, I've also heard that. Now this one does bug me, that the weapons will either hit, like the hit timing will be off. Now I've seen that before. The NPC will react different to the hit timing of your bullet, or you'll actually miss and it reacts, or the guy shooting at you will actually miss. He'll shoot over here and you'll actually take damage. Now those kind of things, I think they definitely need to make sure that they get those things worked out. Let's see. When they demo games like that, they usually are on an older build, so could have been polished even before the demo went public. Yeah. Okay, next one. Mods. Okay, Joe. Your opinion.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what in the world they were griping out here. I guess they were griping at the fact that they might be bringing Creation Club to the game. So let's just talk about that for a minute. Do you believe they're going to bring Creation Club to Starfield?
I think, to be completely honest with you, I think they're going to bring a type of microtransaction into Starfield. Yeah. And it might be in the form of Creation Club. However, think about this, though. Yes, they do have Creation Club, but they've never put mods behind a paywall either, right? So they never said, hey, you have to, in order to unlock this feature in Fallout 4 to use mods, you have to pay $5 a month. Like, they didn't do that.
Do you think we will have console mods, free console mods like we had for Fallout 4?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. 110%.
Well, then I have no problem with the Creation Club stuff.
Yeah, no, that doesn't, yeah. Absolutely. That's what makes these games live so freaking long. And console mods in a Bethesda game, it's kind of a new thing. Past what, 5-6 years, kind of newer. So.
I wish, though, they would concentrate on more DLC type stuff for Creation Club instead of a gun skin or a backpack.
Like, I don't know if you played it in Fallout 4, the Fallout 3, the Galaxy News Radio, Creation Club content. Yes. I played that, and even though it's very short and whatever, I loved it. I really did. I loved it, and I went in there and I spent a lot of time in that tiny area. And it was just nice seeing Fallout 3. Did
you play the battle at Quincy?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh man, that's a good one. That is so.
Really?
Good.
Oh, geez, I gotta play that.
So see if they would do that and really
like that.
And quit all the little stuff that mods could handle, I would sing Creation Clubs. I would dance at their wedding. But anyway, Psycho says, I never mess with the mods. There's that beautiful crown again. Somebody else needs to get him a crown. Jacob says, I will forever stand by Creation Club. It's a great thing because it benefits everyone, the modders and Bethesda. Yep, it does. DeMarco Dude says, I've always said that Creation Club would be cool if it were DLC size. Hey, it sounds like you're talking about something we said. Jacob says, exactly, we need many DLCs. Yes, even major DLCs. Okay, next, number 7. This was just crazy. The guy from Gaming Bolt said in Fallout 4 that resource gathering just took way too long. He said it was. You're
not playing the game then.
He said it was the major part of the game. It was the most major part of the game was resource gathering.
No, you could. That's so wrong.
I think it's really wrong. You didn't have to.
Yeah,
do it.
No, but King, even though no, hold on. Even if you wanted to do it, right, you could go to different shops to get resources that you need. So as long as you were smart about your caps, you could get the resources that way. So they kind of actually made it pretty easy in that sense, right? You
Or
could
pick
just,
up stuff during your mission.
yeah, sure, absolutely. But you could also go if you were smart about your caps, and apparently Bethesda games are so easy to make money in. If you were smart about your caps, you could afford your resources to buy at other vendors. So I disagree with that wholeheartedly that it was a tough game, personally. But what do I know?
I mean, that's like trying to gripe about something. Anyway.
Yeah, you're nitpicking.
Okay. Number 8, Lackluster post game.
But you don't even know. We don't even know anything. How do you even know this?
This is a concern. Just a concern, Joe. Just a concern they have. And what they're talking about, and I agree that they need something here. After you get the main story over, that you need something to bring you back, some kind of radiant something to bring you back that is exciting, that is good. Fallout 76 needs that as well. But I would say Fallout 4 needs that a little bit more. So I would agree with them on this. I think this is something Bethesda needs to work on. They need something that's big, that's repeatable, that you can do over. Fallout 76, it gets old nuking the queen. You get tired doing that after a while. You need something a little bit different. So same way with Starfield. What are you going to do after you finish the story? I know. Hopefully it will be something in line with what you've done with your settlements, what you can accomplish with your settlements. That's what I hope it is, in my opinion.
I don't know. I just feel like griping about the post game right now is just a little bit too much for me. We don't even know it.
Anti-Hero says resource gathering in Fallout 4 was great. What other game makes you so excited to find duct tape? Amen. Jacob says, I think the resource gathering was fun in Fallout 4. Made it feel like everything in the world has a purpose. Yes, I really like that too. That's one reason I hate to go back and play Fallout 3 in New Vegas. It's like I find duct tape and glue, and you don't even need it. I get excited, and you don't even need it.
Yeah, you just sell it.
DeMarco Dude says, or counter options, such good choice and consequence. You want a second playthrough. Here's another thing I want to talk about, and something I don't know where I missed it, but let's talk about choices. Eon or Anon Zur said that. He said it's about the story. It's about the ability to write your own story. What do you think? Do you think Bethesda has learned have they learned from their past? And is Starfield going to be a more choice-based game? Is it going to be a more consequence? In other words, is my game going to be different than your game at the end?
Yes.
I hope so.
I believe that. I believe that it will be. I think it's been a desire for many people for many years now.
Yes.
And yeah, this is a big thing when it comes to their games when talking about it in a negative way. So yes, I think there will be 100%. But that's my opinion.
Now, when Todd says it's going to be a more hardcore RPG, what does he mean? I believe there's going to be survival aspects to this game. Is that what he means?
Whom?
Todd Howard. He says this is going to be a more hardcore RPG. I mean, when I think about a hardcore RPG, I think of choice and consequence.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, what would one mean by hardcore RPG, right? Would it mean kind of like with 76, when you level up your character, you kind of have to have like a strategy almost, right? Mm-hmm. So is that going to be the same thing with Starfield? It doesn't appear that way. It looks more like Fallout 4. So like that's the one thing that I could think of when he says a more hardcore RPG. Like I don't really think of the gameplay itself, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
We do at least have the perks and the traits, so that's going to be. I don't think it's going to be quite as, and I'm going to use this word because they used it. It's not going to be quite as bland as Fallout 4 was. Fallout 4, in the end, everybody's character wound up the same. Everybody's character was the same by the end of the game.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this game is going to be more like Fallout 76 in the fact that everybody's character is different. You really have some differences there, and I hope that's the way it will be with the system that is in Starfield. Do you think it's going to be that way with what you've seen with the trait system?
Yeah, I hope so.
I do too.
I hope it's gonna. Yeah, I hope so. I really do. But I think it will be. I feel like they've put too much TLC into this game. Just my opinion. Not too much, but they put a lot into the game, and it's gonna be a deep RPG. It definitely will. That's just why.
I really hope Starfield leans into the RPG choice elements like New Vegas. Amen. Lesmo says. DeMarco Dude says hardcore role-playing games require RPG as Skyrim, where you can do everything in one playthrough. Now, whoops, okay, there we go. Now, I do think it's going to be a big sandbox as well, which I like. Okay. Last one, and that's a good segue, is role-playing. How much role-playing, true role-playing, is there going to be in Starfield? With everything that we've looked at, with the choices, the story, the traits, with all that, the world, how Starfield actually going to be? Is it going to be holding your hand through the story, or is it actually going to let you role-play?
I think both. I think it will hold your hand a little bit. The newer games I feel like do.
Yeah.
You know, for the most part. So, but I think it'll also give you that role playing that we've all been desiring and craving from a BGS game.
Another thing I like about Fallout 76 is you can actually play through the main menu in any order. Did you know that? You can actually skip ahead to the Brotherhood of Steel segment before you finish Rose.
Interesting. That's cool.
You can go through and you can launch a nuke right out of the vault. You do not have to do anything first. Now there's a few things you do. You have to join the army before you're in the enclave, but I like the fact that it don't say you have to do this first, then this, then this, then this, then this. Now, I understand you have to have certain structure in a story. But I want to make my own story. And I have heard several people at Bethesda say that about Starfield, and that's exciting. Yeah. Because I think the best thing that Bethesda does is they make the world. And what they've done with Starfield is they've made the world, they've made the components, and now we can make the story. They've got the characters, they've got all that, and there's a lot there. But again, I want my story to be different than Joey's story. So I hope they really give us a lot of freedom there.
Yeah, like it might be like even when you have to pick like your background in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
You know, different combinations probably will result in different dialogue, even. So I think it will be. I have high hopes for it. I really do.
I hope so. And it, I know it is possible because you go back to New Vegas. I mean, you go back to New Vegas and there were truly different endings for that game.
Yeah.
I mean, there were different endings.
Yeah, but let's not forget this too. I'm not trying to poo-poo on New Vegas. It's arguably my favorite Fallout. Mm-hmm. But you different endings, sure, but you couldn't play after the ending. The game would stop.
Very true. Very true.
So That's the big thing I had with that. But they had 18 months to make it. I know the whole spiel. I know the whole story.
Jacob says,
get it.
I like that Todd said skills in Starfield will be leveled by using them. Yes, I'm glad they went back to the Skyrim system in that. I don't know why they went away from that. I think that's perfect. In my opinion, skills in RPGs should be leveled mostly by using them. And Jacob says, I love seeing BGS and Obsidian team up to co-develop a game sometime. That would be great. Yes, let Obsidian do the story and Bethesda do the world. That would be great. All right. One thing that I've said, and I don't know why I haven't said it, Joe, you didn't remind me, but it has been the pinned comment this whole time. If y'all have not subscribed to Joey Caps Gaming,
yeah, please, I got content coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Please go do that.
My podcast is coming back. I'm going to have Mr. King on there.
Yes.
Potentially every week. King, I'm doing it.
All right. Back. His link is right up top. Please go and subscribe to his channel.
Be prepared.
Also, if you're not a member of the King's Crew, all you have to do is hit the little join button right below this video. And
you do it.
And it's not that much money. You can do that. You can help me out. We can pay our bills, and we could eat this month. That would be really good. You could have your little crown. And we're gonna have some special. I think I'm gonna start by streaming Fallout 3 just for the members. We're gonna have some.
That'd
podcasts.
Be awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna have some podcasts just for the members
awesome.
As well. So, like Psycho right there, he's got the crown right there. So, Joe, do you have anything else? We've gone 20 minutes longer because it was so fun talking to you today.
Yeah, do I have anything else? No. What I'm actually doing, I'm actually becoming a member of the King's Crew right now.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I just have to put in all the card stuff, but I'm doing it. I want to see that Fallout 3 playthrough. That's what won me. That's what got me, King.
I'm going to get a horn, like the old the guys at a castle. They went dun da da da.
Yeah.
Every time somebody joins, that's what's going to go off.
You should.
DeMarco Dude says, go for another 20 minutes. Why not? Jeremy says, Fallout 4 and Skyrim, I think, was to get younger audiences to BGS. Yeah, I think it was to get more of a mainstream audience. I think it was. And now they're going back more toward their roots with Starfield. I think they are. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to hope it's as much of a success for Bethesda as there is the shift with his crown. Isn't that pretty looking? Welcome to the King's Crew, the shift. I love it.
Yeah, that's my baseball channel.
I love it. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Well, I want to thank you for being on the KingsCast, man. I love this. I want to have you back, but you're always gone and messing around on Saturday, so I guess
Saturday nights are hard.
We'll have to have a Friday version again for Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, brother. Anytime. And I'm going to have you on my channel, too, probably next week. So that's what we're doing.
That sounds good. Well, thanks, everybody, for spending a little bit of your Friday with me and Joe. Joe, you are my brother and my friend. I love you, brother.
Thank you, brother. I love you too.
A couple of guys said, like, y'all think I ain't subscribed to Joe. They're already subscribed to you. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, right.
DeMarco says, congrats on your success with the shift. Yes, by the way,
thank you.
If you're not subscribed to the shift and you like baseball, there is another great channel. Hey, I can put up a link real quick.
Yeah, if you're a Yankee fan,
talk for a minute about your channel.
Yeah, if you're a Yankee fan, I started the baseball channel because I love it so much. I love there are a few things that I love in this world. It's Fallout, like Bethesda. I love it, and I love my sports. So I wanted to make a channel about my favorite baseball team, the Yankees. That's what I did, and I'm approaching 6,000 subscribers. I'm very happy. I'm hoping to hit 10,000 by the end of the year. So. Yeah, guys. So yeah, if you like the Yankees, that's the place for you. If you don't like the Yankees, then I don't know what to tell you. But hey, if you like baseball,
if you like the Cardinals, stay right here with me. There, right there, is a link to his baseball channel, so you can subscribe there. And also, again, the pinned comment at the very top is his gaming channel, Joey Caps Gaming. Y'all, please go subscribe to both of those. And if for some reason you're not subscribed to me, go ahead and do that. And think about becoming a member of the King's Crew. We're going to get a good group up and have a great Fallout 3 playthrough. Well, Joe, you have a great weekend, brother.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you having me on. And wait, hold on. So many people. Go Brewers, go Braves. Listen, if you want a Yankee perspective, let's go. Subscribe to the ship. Let's go, baby. Come on.
Wait, go Cards. Okay. I would say go Razorbacks, but that's college team. But
yeah, it's college football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, y'all have a great weekend. God bless you. Y'all have a great night as well. Bye, everybody.